Let's clarify this rent versus buy debate once and for all. It's probably not going to work anyway because people will have follow-up questions, which is okay. Write them in the comments and we'll answer them together. But let's attempt at least to give an answer to this. Vanesa, you're the real estate expert. Tell us, why is buying a rental property better than buying a home?
I can give you a couple of very, very important factors. For example, the leverage effect. So what does it mean? It means that you're borrowing money from the bank for a certain time of period, and then you're having a third party, which is the tenant who pays out of your debt, right? Great thing. So it's not you, it's the tenant who pays out your debt.
And Finanzamt.
Finanzamt. This is also very important to know because sometimes people think, I make money because real estate goes up in value. Yes, but the real thing is that the debt goes down in value. And this is where we have the inflation right now, right? We have a high rate inflation of 10% here in Germany, which means that you are also using the inflation as a tailwind. So you're taking that profit, the inflation with you on the backpack, and use it for your profit, for your benefits. Also another thing, because people think, oh, everything got expensive because due to inflation. Yes, right, but especially this kind of investment makes sense right now because you can actually take the inflation with you.
Everybody who has debt basically profits from high inflation.
Completely. And this is what a bank knows, right? They know that. So, I mean, high inflation is also the after effect, or high interest rate are the after effect because of the high inflation. And they know that. But still, don't stop yourself. I mean, use inflation with you. And also an important thing, the pension gap. I mean, you know, better is just, we all receiving this paper from the Rentenversicherung once a year. And it actually tells you there that you have to cover the gap by yourself. Most of the people, they don't really read. They read the numbers. How much money can I get at the end of 65, 67 years, right? But if you really read it, the rental, the pension tells you that you have to really cover the gap for yourself. And it's pretty hard because still the government, there are some deficiencies, people living longer, right? So there's someone who had to pay for the older people. Number two is more and more people deciding not to get kids or less kids, right? So this is also kind of a big factor.
The pyramid scheme doesn't work anymore, yeah.
I know, or that way, exactly. And another thing is that the younger people, they staying longer in school. Longer in school, you doing your master, you're doing this and that. So they enter into the workforce later, right? So these are also facts where you really have to think about it if you're, of course, staying in Germany. But even if not, you have the opportunity to sell the property. Probably you guys heard, you can sell the property tax-free after 10 years. Even before you can sell it. I mean, we're happy to sell the property as well. I mean, you can buy the property with us. We also sell the property for you if you're planning to go to another country or go back home. But these options you have still from the government or the beneficial.
And where is this possible? Tax-free profit doesn't exist anywhere else.
No, it does not. And I mean, I love these two examples. Like, one of the biggest real estate companies or providers is, for example, McDonald's. McDonald's didn't get rich because of fries and burgers and a Happy Meal or whatever. They got wealthy because of real estate, and they keep going. They keep going, buying and getting more and more wealthy, right? This is what most people don't know. Or the famous actor Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He was born and raised in Austria, left Austria, went to the US, and what did he do? He didn't go for, I mean, he did bodybuilding in a young age, but the first thing he did in the US was purchasing a property. So he made his first million up with real estate. So he really got rich because of real estate, not because of acting or bodybuilding.
He used that money maybe to buy more properties.
Exactly. I mean, I think he has a net worth of real estate over 100 million right now. So this shows you how exciting a real estate investment is.
Self-made, incredible.
Amazing. I mean, You don't have to go that high, I don't say that, but just to give you kind of ideas how much efficiency there is for a real estate property. And as well, please keep in mind the energy costs are up right now as well. The renovation costs are up right now. So even if you're owning your own property, you have to do all this by yourself. Material costs are super high. We talked about getting the right craftsman, right? Getting an appointment with them, getting the right material. And if you are doing that, you have to do a really good calculation. So it's pretty hard to calculate that everything. And even if you do a calculation, I always recommend to go 20% more up on the calculation, just to be on the safe side. Yeah.
It's kind of an unspoken rule here in Germany, right? It's when you think it's going to cost you that much and it's going to take that long, the property, always put at least 10% more time and 10% more costs to factor in.
Exactly. And I mean, again, use the equity for your profit, right? You can deduct so many things if you're going for investment property. And even as you said, you don't have to go for a big one or an expensive one. It's really enough to go for 100, 200, 300K and also not to go with that much down payment, right? This is what, because if you go to the bank, let's say that, if you go to the bank by yourself, the bank will ask you, Axel, what experience do you have with real estate or someone else? And if someone says, I just read...
My first one.
Exactly, it's your first one. I just read a book. I watched some YouTube videos.
Watch PerFinEx YouTube videos. Yeah.
They will say, okay, actually, that's not really an experience, right? And what happens then? That the bank gives you worse terms. They give you a higher interest rate. I mean, this is not a killer, right? But they just give you worse rates and they want more down payment from you. And this is what you don't want to have in an investment property. You want to go with a minimum, right? Keep your liquidity safe for other things, but having, again, to obligate or to outsource that obligation to a tenant who pays out your debt.